What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Daniel, owner of Bent Rod Fishing, and today's video is going to ruffle some feathers. I'm just gonna put it out there right off the bat. It's probably going to ruffle some feathers. I've had this conversation with people in real life, and it has ruffled some feathers, and it takes a lot more chutzpah to get ticked off in somebody's face than it does in the comment section online. So I'm expecting some hate for this. But for those of you who watch this video and think, oh my goodness, I wish I would have thought of this, or wow, that was really good information, just please keep in mind, I'm throwing myself in front of the hate bus for you guys. If you're wondering, is this video even for me? Two questions. Do you sell your baits? Second question, if the answer is no to the first question, second question is, do you want to? If you answered yes to either of those, then this video is for you. This is not me saying this is what you should do. This is not me saying that what you're doing is wrong. This is me saying, please, for the love of all that's holy, keep this in mind. This is me saying, this is my experience, this is what I have learned, and this is what is working gangbusters for me. And I know a lot of people in this industry that I've become friends with that I know could have the same or better success than I'm having doing this, and I wanted to share it. I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm not going to sit here and go, ooh, I found this little secret and I'm not going to tell anybody about it. That's not the kind of person I am. This industry has been amazing. Everybody's been so positive for the most part. We're going to test that today. And I just want to help. I want to help people who might be interested in this. So buckle up. Let's ruffle some feathers. If you've been pouring baits for more than 5 minutes, you've probably had this exact thought. If I can just get 100 bags of my custom finesse worms or swim baits onto pegs at local tackle shops, I've finally made it. It's the ultimate dream when you're starting out. You walk into your local shop, see your brand hanging on those pegs next to the big corporate brands and think, this is it. I'm a real bait maker now. I get it. I've been pouring baits full time for 5 years now. And for a long time, I believed that getting into tackle shops was the ultimate benchmark of success in this industry. But today, I want to talk about something that very few people in the tackle making world like to bring up publicly. Why chasing wholesale too early is actually a fast track to physical burnout, broken equipment, and making almost zero money. Now, before anybody gets upset, let me clear the air. Tackle shop owners are the heart and soul of the fishing community, period. Supporting local tackle shops is very huge to me. The video isn't about bashing local retailers, and it's not about looking down on anybody grinding out orders. My goal with this video is simple. I want to help small batch bait makers break free from the traditional trap by showing you what happens when you take full control of your own brand and go direct to customer, or a DTC. Because when you sell directly to the angler, it's freeing. It protects your creative spark, and it's a lot more fun. And most importantly, you actually get to keep the money that you've earned. Let's start with an honest look at our production setups. The vast majority of custom bait makers watching this aren't running automated, big money injection machines with industrial chillers and conveyor belts, right? Most guys are working out of their garage, a shed, or their basement. They're using Pyrex cups and a microwave and hand injecting, or at best, a shooting star. Because we are handcrafting, our most valuable limited resource isn't plastisol, flake, or colorant. It's time and physical labor. So let's look at the brutal math of wholesale when you're hand pouring. Say your bag of custom baits retails for $7. When a tackle shop buys your product, they need a wholesale discount, typically 40 to 50% off retail, so that they can make their margins cover their overhead. That means if you're selling a bag at $7, the shop gets it for $3.50. Now break down your actual cost per bag. Plastisol, what, 80 cents to maybe a little over $1. Color, glitter, scent, maybe another 20 cents, maybe more. Bags, depends on where you're buying them. Are you buying them in bulk from China, or are you buying them off the internet? Custom labels, clamshells, another 50 to 80 cents per. Suddenly your raw materials alone cost $1.80 or $2.20. When you're selling a bag to a shop for $3.50, you're making $1.30 to $1.70 per bag for your actual labor. To make $1,000 in profit at a $1.50 margin per bag, you have to pour, demold, bag, label, and box over 660 bags of baits. Think about what pulling a hand injector 660 times does to your elbow, your shoulder, or if you're tall like me and you have to bend over, your back. You're standing over a heated pot, a microwave, for 40 hours a week just to net $1,000. You haven't built a business. You've built yourself a high-stress, low-paying factory job where you're the only employee. Here's a rule of thumb that I've learned over the past 5 years. Wholesaling only makes sense when you have an inventory problem, meaning you have automated machinery pumping out excess stock that's taking up shelf space and you need volume outlets to clear it out. Until you have an automated inventory surplus, wholesaling small batch hand pour trades your health and sanity for razor thin margins. So hopefully at this point of the video, you're thinking, dang, Daniel, you're normally pretty positive and like encouraging, and I kind of feel like giving up. I'm gonna go watch a different video. Don't do that. Don't do that. There is an alternative, and I'm here to show you. What is that alternative? Direct to customer. Selling your baits directly to the angler who is going to tie them on and throw them. When you shift your primary focus away from store pegs and towards your own direct audience, 3 major things happen. 1, you keep your margins. Remember that $7 bag? When you sell directly to a customer, you keep that full $7. After your $2 in raw materials, your profit is $5 a bag, not $1.50. That means to make $1,000 in profit, you only need to pour and sell 200 bags instead of that 660 we were talking about. You get 70% of your physical time while making that exact amount of money. Number 2, and this one was huge for me, creative freedom. Store buyers want safe, traditional colors that sit on shelves without looking weird. Green pumpkin, black and blue, watermelon red. But as a custom maker, your talent is bringing creative ideas to life. When you sell DTC, you don't need permission from a shop owner to drop a wild 3-color laminate or a seasonal color shift run, or do a limited edition bait. You can pour 20 bags of a custom experiment, put it out to your audience, and let them decide if they love it or not. Number 3, when somebody buys a bag from a peg at a retail shop, they remember the shop, not the guy standing over the microwave at 11 p.m. making the bait. When they buy directly from you, they're connecting with your story. They send you catch photos, tag you on social media, give you feedback on new colors, and become loyal customers for years. Now, the biggest objection I hear from bait makers when I talk about DTC is, I'm a bait maker, not a web developer, or I don't know how to build a website, manage inventory, or handle state-by-state tax laws. That used to be a massive hurdle, but today social commerce and live selling platforms have removed that friction entirely. You don't even need an e-commerce website to start selling directly to anglers. 2 platforms are currently dominating the space, Whatnot and TikTok. Both allow you to bypass building a website, but they both work very differently. And I'm about to break down the pros and cons of each so you can decide which fit makes sense for your workflow. We'll start with Whatnot. It's a live stream marketplace built specifically around live auctions, buy it now drops, and enthusiastic communities. The pros of Whatnot are there's a built-in community of buyers. People open Whatnot with their credit card already linked, specifically looking to buy directly from creators and small businesses. You aren't fighting with people who are just there for entertainment. They are there to shop. Number 2, there's a high repeat customer loyalty and average order value on Whatnot, much higher than average. Because Whatnot acts like an interactive hangout room, viewers stay for hours sometimes, chatting with you, buying multiple items, and they keep coming back week after week. The repeat customer rate on Whatnot is exceptionally strong compared to impulse video platforms. The next pro, and this is a biggie, there are 0 sales tax or shipping headaches. Whatnot handles sales tax collection and remittance automatically based on where the buyer lives. Once your show ends, it generates prepaid shipping labels with all the buyer's details ready to print. And last but certainly not least, and I'm sure all of you guys who are out there making videos and posting on social media will agree with this one, it's the live visual impact. Standard product photos never do color shifts, highlight powders or laminates justice at all. On a live stream, you can hold that bait up to the camera under warm lighting, you can flex it to show the action, and you can even drop it in a fish tank with water and answer questions live. The impact of the weight of what you have created is so much higher on a live stream. Now, there are cons to Whatnot. Whatnot has higher transaction fees. Whatnot charges an 8% commission fee plus a 2.9 processing fee plus 30 cents per transaction. Now, I've done some shows on Whatnot, and I will tell you, it is fair for what they provide, but higher than basic web host payment processors. They also have a capped organic reach. Whatnot's audience is dedicated, but it's a closed ecosystem. You won't randomly hit millions of non-app users overnight like you might on an open short-form video feed. Next, let's look at TikTok, specifically TikTok Shop and TikTok Live. The pros: it is a massive viral discovery engine. Their algorithm pushes content to millions of viewers based on interest. A 15-second clip showing a unique bait or satisfying demold could get thousands and thousands of views out of nowhere, driving huge traffic to your shop. They also have a lower baseline commission fee. Their fee structure is generally around 6% for standard categories, making it slightly lower on paper than Whatnot's base commission. Also, they have short form video evergreen sales. Basically what this means is, on TikTok, a short video you posted 3 days ago can keep generating sales while you sleep, without requiring you to be live on camera at that exact moment. Now, here are some cons. It's mainly impulse buyers, and they have a lower than average repeat buyer rate. TikTok shoppers are often scrolling for entertainment and buying on impulse. They buy one item, leave, and rarely return to buy from your brand long term. Also, TikTok has very strict fulfillment windows. TikTok has shipping requirements that can sometimes be difficult to meet. If a short video unexpectedly goes viral and you get 400 orders overnight, you think, hey, I got 400 orders. TikTok expects those packages to be out the door within 2 to 3 business days. For a solo hand pourer, getting hit with a huge unexpected surge can lead to account strikes if you can't pour and pack fast enough. And finally, viewers on TikTok typically buy single low-ticket items rather than building multi-item orders like they do during a live stream hangout. So, the verdict on platforms: if you want a predictable, high-margin, repeat community sales where you can pour and pack while hanging out with your anglers, Whatnot is arguably the best stress-free entry point. If you want a maximum viral reach and feel comfortable handling sudden volume spikes, TikTok is a very powerful engine. Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. If you currently have baits hanging in local shops, hear me loud and clear. Do not burn those bridges. Local tackle shops are great partners, and if they have healthy relationships with local owners, keep supporting them. But shift your internal business framework. Stop viewing tackle shop pegs as your primary income driver. View them as localized marketing billboards for your brand. Shift 80% of your focus to DTC, using live selling or a simple website to build an audience that buys directly from you. Set strict weekly pouring schedules so you aren't sacrificing family life or physical health to fill wholesale back orders that barely pay for the plastisol. And treat your bait making like the craft and art form that it is, rather than an underpaid factory contract. Okay guys, and one last thing before we wrap up. Another thing that I hear people say they have nerves about, I guess, is being in front of the camera. I will say, if you are willing to stand in front of the camera, you will connect with your audience better, for sure. It's just human nature. When you see a face, when you see somebody laughing or smiling at you, and you connect with them, you start to feel who they are and not just see their hands. or see the product that they're making. But you do not have to do that. You can have the phone in front of you, camera facing away from you, and all they would see are your hands holding baits. Don't let that hold you back. And my first show, I was not on camera. I was nervous. It's weird because I make YouTube videos, but I can always like hit pause and go and edit that. When you're live, it's nerve-wracking. I know. I was there. I did one video, and when I saw the potential, I knew I need to turn that camera around. And I just took the chance and said, I'm willing to look silly because that's how much I want Bent Rod Fishing to be successful. I'm willing to be stupid for my brand, basically. I've seen some of the baits that you guys are creating. You don't have to be in front of the camera for people to go, holy crap. Like, you guys are artists. So set that phone in front of you. All they need to see are your hands. Show them the baits. Talk about it with the passion that I see you guys talking about it on your YouTube channels and on Instagram. And change your business trajectory. Make it something that you love to do. I mean, at the end of the day, we all got into this because we love fishing. We love creating, and we love the feeling of catching a fish on something that we made with our own two hands. This should be fun. It shouldn't feel like a factory shift that you can't escape. Build your brand, enjoy the freedom, making a living doing what you love. Make sure your business model actually supports that. I'd love to hear from you, where you're at in your bait making journey down in the comments. Are you hand injecting out of Pyrex, running a shooting star, pushing to live? Whatever the biggest challenge of wholesale or DTC, let's talk about it. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and guys, as always, stay bent.